Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's nichebot live call-in show. This is the show where you get the intervention you need to blow right past those obstacles that stand in your way. Now, I'm your host and founder of nichebot X since 2004, and let me tell you exactly why I created this show for gold and platinum users. Main reason is I believe that everyone needs some sort of interaction at one point in time. I know I sure did when I first began, and I went through years of frustration without actually having that because there was not much available back in 2001, 2002, 2003, and you usually had to pay coaches some pretty high amounts, which, at a regular 9-to-5 job, it's kind of, and a tight budget, tight family budget, it's kind of hard to do that. So this makes it affordable and also gives you help and assistance with not only with learning nichebot, but exactly how to promote your website beyond just doing the keyword research, because keyword research is just the beginning phase. Now, the other thing I tended to notice over the past few years is that people tend to blow right past the Quick Start Guide, and that really is the foundation that gets you going in the right direction. The other thing is that the content is customized towards you every week. Whenever you have questions, whenever you have any types of scenarios or would like me to review a particular page on your website to see if you're doing things right, we're here to customize this show according to what your needs are rather than just throwing things at you. Now, this show is about getting clarity and having breakthroughs, and I believe that you truly do get breakthroughs with repeated exposure to using techniques that work. Now, there will be a replay of this show from the live show directory at the URL that you see right there, and also if you go into iTunes, you'll also see that the nichebot live show, the keyword research live show, is available from there where you can watch it through your iTunes or download it to your computer and watch it at a later time. So real quickly, just wanted to share my epiphany back in 2004 when I discovered the power of backlinks. And that, backlinks, I'm showing you an example right here of what a backlink looks like in your website. I first used reciprocal linking to get backlinks to nichebot and other sites, and I use that still, and I use other techniques as well. And you should find really whatever kind of style of inbound links, and we'll actually be talking about that today. Getting inbound links always trumps content on your page. You can have the worst content ever on your page and still get it ranked higher than other people through the power of getting inbound links, which is getting links from other sites other than yours pointing in towards your web pages. Now, if you go ahead and type Link Building Strategies 2011 in Google, you'll find some additional ways to get backlinks to your site. Now, this show is about getting clarity and breakthroughs. So your intervention or your intervention here is really, really important, because if you're sitting there stuck on the sidelines and you're not really participating, you're not participating in your own success and progressing forward. Now, real quickly, ground rules for the call. Everyone right now is muted on the line. If you want to ask a question anytime during this webinar, this live webinar, through your panel, you'll go ahead and type live chat in front of your question if you want to interact, so I can, of course, unmute you. Unfortunately, some people have a lot of noise, background noise going on in the background, and we want to kind of avoid that. So if you just basically submit your questions now in the question box over to your right-hand side. I notice everyone right now is shy, so we're going to go ahead and if you have any questions, go ahead and submit them right now. In the meantime, I will go ahead and start working on what we're going to be doing on a weekly basis now is giving you at least one thing that we'll cover. It'll either be a review of certain techniques that are being used out there. We'll go over one particular how-to of how to set up something, how to promote something, how to use a tool. we'll be doing that on a consistent basis, on a weekly basis. So today we're going to actually be reviewing different link building strategies, because I believe that's still the number 1 technique for getting top search engine rankings. And honestly, I've never really paid for any type of traffic. I totally believe that getting free traffic is the best source of traffic, and it's still, I think, the most golden type of traffic you can get. I'm not one to go ahead and try to optimize an AdWords campaign or spend the money to test a certain thing. I mean, unfortunately it's tough to test a keyword when the Google AdWords appear on the right side and your free listings appear right in the middle. So we're going to be talking about backlinks. So if you do have any questions for me right now, go ahead and submit those right now. Otherwise, we're going to go straight into talking about backlinks and some of the strategies that have shown up on Google by typing in the search phrase that I had mentioned. So let's go ahead and get right to that. In the meantime, if any questions arise, go ahead and don't be shy. Go ahead and, if you have questions about nichebot, questions about promotion techniques, creating a web page, submitting articles, using social media, all that sort of stuff, we can go ahead and cover that on this webinar. In fact, we're going to, right now, before we get into the link building techniques, I'm going to show you a particular, hopefully I can log in from this computer, because I use a different computer for this webinar. So let's go ahead and do any sort of live interaction. Go ahead and get your questions in. In the meantime, we'll go forward right now, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and update some of my statuses in my, hopefully this works, on all of my sites. Okay, invalid email about, oh wait, okay, Jim at nichebot. Okay, that's not it. I'm going to get my password right now from my other computer, and so I can log in, and I'm going to show you kind of what happens when I use ping.fm, and then I'll explain it real briefly. Okay. All right. Obviously, I was using the wrong email address, so I'll go ahead and go ahead and remember me on this computer and hit login, and we should be logged in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let everyone know what I'm doing right now, just so they know. You want to build an audience out there in social media, and that's really, really important. So I'm going to go ahead and let everyone know right in the middle of doing the nichebot live show for its subscribers, and we're talking about link building techniques for 2011. So I'm going to send this out there. As you see, I picked statuses. And what this is going to do, as you see over here to the left side, I have Posterous. Whoops, don't want to do that. I have PhotoBucket, Yahoo Profiles, Delicious, WordPress, Bebo, Plaxo Plus, Plurk, FriendFeed, Tumblr, LinkedIn, MySpace, Google Buzz, and Facebook and Twitter. Now, what this is going to do, what ping.fm does is it aggregates all of these services. I get basically to load all these services in my network, and whenever I choose a particular thing, like I choose microblog or blogs, based on whatever I choose, like statuses will go out to Twitter's, Facebook, Google Buzz, MySpace, LinkedIn, Tumblr, FriendFeed, Plurk, Bebo, Plaxo Plus. It'll go through Posterous and Yahoo Profiles. So what I'm going to do right now is post this, and it will go out to all the services without me having to log in to each one and post this individually. Because the biggest issue is a lot of people are on Twitter, a lot of people are on Facebook. Of course, we know a lot of people are on Facebook. A lot of people are on different types of platforms that they only check, and you can't necessarily reach everyone through just one platform. You may not be able to reach everyone through Facebook. A lot of people may like just friend feed. They don't want to go to Facebook. So what this does is it broadcasts everything out to all the services, and I like to usually put a keyword in here right in the middle of doing nichebot keyword research live show, and we've gone past the character amount. So we can maybe take out right and put in the middle. That takes us to immediately 140 characters. Whoops. Got my numeral lock on. In the middle of doing the nichebot keyword research live show. Actually, I like it better as nichebot live show. No, we'll leave it that way. So we'll undo that, we'll get ready and just hit ping it, and that will go out to all of the services. So if I go check twitter.gym/Morris, you'll see it got posted right here in the middle. And it's basically pretty much instant. And you'll see Facebook is also, I would have to log in to see my thing, but we can actually do that. All right, so as you can see right here in the middle of that, and as you can see, my 222 friends will now see what I'm in the middle of doing. So if you haven't gotten started using social media, I highly recommend it for all of your sites. We're going to be talking about a site that I just recently put together called Get Fit with Jim. We're going to be doing some walkthroughs of that. You'll see this is a full fitness site, and this is actually a site I personally built out because, as you can see, it says Get Fit with Jim. So we'll be going through a number of different things on the show together, one thing at a time, covering one bit, which you'll be able to ask me some questions. And I actually set up for this, I have a Twitter account that's specially for this, Get Fit with Jim. As you can see, this is specially for this, and I'm starting to build a following on this particular because I want to separate my business life with my fitness life, and that's the reason why I'm setting up separate Twitter and Facebook accounts. So that's a real quick review on ping.fm. It's really simple to go set up. I highly recommend you keep all of your social networks that you set up in the application here, to keep all your emails and your passwords pretty much similar, so it makes it really easy to set it up quick. We're not going through this today, but I just wanted to show it to you so that you have some advance notice when we start talking about it. Maybe you'll have your account set up already. And we'll do some more in-depth stuff and show you how to set this completely up from scratch. But we're not going to cover this right now. I wanted to just show you a quick a live example of how I'm using that on a daily basis. We'll be talking about how I use this. Also, ping.fm allows you to use it with Google Reader, whereas when you're looking at, if you don't have a Google Reader, if you have any sort of a Gmail account, you can use Google Reader and tie it in with your ping.fm account, so whenever you want to share one of your articles that you found on Google Reader, it will automatically post it to all of your statuses through all of your social networks. So you don't even have to, you can literally one-click share everything by going through your Google Reader account, and we'll talk about how important having your Google Reader account with all of the blogs and services that you want to monitor out on the internet and how vital that is. We'll be going and walking through that in the month of February. So we're going to stop here and we're going to start going over, as I mentioned in the beginning of the intro of the call, if you're looking for link building strategies, you can just type into Google link building strategies 2011. Just going to go real quickly and make sure we don't have any sort of questions going. Nope. Everyone's pretty much settled in here for the how-to stuff. We'll be covering basically what I believe are pretty much the most effective and easiest link building strategies that you can implement today, and we'll be just reviewing basically the top 10 pages here on some of the link building strategies that are recommended, and we'll be talking about those, and I'll kind of give you an overview of whether I believe something is a beginner, intermediate, or advanced type of a technique for building links to your website. But like I said in the beginning of the call, I think link building is absolutely the most important thing to promote your site into the search engines, because once you do this and you get this technique and you have, say, 4 to 5 different techniques that you have under your belt, you can literally rank any site for any keyword. But of course, based on the actual competition for a keyword, it could take you longer for one keyword versus another. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, we're going to talk about 8 flawed link building strategies that's shared over here at Search Engine Watch, which is one of your sites you definitely want to have in your Google Reader account, so that you get any new articles that are instantly published on certain sites that have this is sort of like a blog, and you'll notice, let's see, you'll see down here receive news via SEW RSS feeds, and you click on that and you can, whatever that URL is for that particular feed, you put that into, or you can hit subscribe to RSS feeds up here. Reason it's hard to see this right here is because I have a plugin down here called Quick Search Status, and I've got highlight no follow links, so I can see exactly how certain sites are highlighting their no follow links. And especially when I'm going through and I'm doing blog commenting, I want to see if it's a no follow site or a do follow site. So this is a plugin called a Quick Search Status, and you can download that into your Firefox just by searching for it. So we're going to go ahead and look at 8 flawed link building strategies and what I think about those as well. Now, buying links, okay, this is a very controversial subject. Obviously, it is against, as it says right there, it is against Google's Webmaster Guidelines. Now, it is against it, but people get away with it. Unfortunately, when there are sites that are being obviously advertised, and if Google happens to find out what those sites are that your link is on, obviously it can be done in an indetectable way to get a link on another site in a paid manner, because they'll just usually end up doing some sort of you know, down here at the bottom they'll put a keyword with a hyperlink somewhere on the page or something like this. Not like an author resource box, but you'll get a paid link like that, and it's pretty undetectable. But if for instance, Google ever finds out where those sites are that people are putting paid links on, Google can obviously penalize and discount all links pointing outwards to that site. So you can lose your money, and obviously you'll lose that link. And I'm basically a very big fan of doing, I'm very much a big fan of creating permanent links or backlinks to my site, whether they're one-way links, three-way links, or reciprocal links. And that's the next topic, which is a flawed link building strategy on this article, and that's link swaps. Now, that's exactly what I personally used back in 2004, and this is of course something that was already poo-pooed back in 2004, and I decided to go against the grain and do it anyways. You'll see a lot of email coming in, people wanting to exchange links with you, so on and so forth. And I don't necessarily see anything wrong with it, but it can distract you from doing much more valuable link building, like getting one-way links into your site. So again, I do believe for 2011, this is definitely a, obviously, as you can see here, it's been a problem since Big Daddy update back in 2006. And furthermore, it's just harder and harder to get good quality links. You'll find a lot of people wanting to exchange links with you, and they have like 50, 100 links on one page. Well, you're not. If there's 50 to 100 outbound links on one page, you're not going to get much juice from it by reciprocal linking. So, link swaps definitely not good. Now, free directories I think are pretty good. Obviously, it says here, you know, Google is only going to respect certain directories that have a strong editorial policy, one of those being dmoz.org, which is a, you know, it's a manually reviewed process, and it's very tough to get into that site and get listed. So you can't have like a traditional sales page. You've got to have like what looks like a content-oriented type of website, even if you're selling something. But I do believe that if you're doing directory submissions, I think they can be valuable to start off getting your website spidered. And maybe even getting some long tail keywords rankings in Google. But the real important thing here is when you're submitting to hundreds of sites and you're submitting the same line over and over and over, what I recommend is that you rotate. You know, you submit different anchor text or different submissions. Like you'll submit one particular keyword, you'll change another keyword, but you have to have, unless you're going to do this manually, you'll have to use some sort of a program that allows you to rotate your directories. And there is a directory program out there. I will give you at towards the end of this live show. Now, forum blog spamming, obviously not a good idea. You want to do it as customized and as, you know, you want to make it as customized and try to build a reputation versus just blog spamming and you know, doing blog comments and using any sort of automated tools. I would definitely highly recommend that you monitor an email address that you're doing blog commenting or forum commenting, but that's a great way to get backlinks to your site, at least in your signature line. You can usually have about 2 to 3 outbound links, but you have to check the guidelines and the rules restrictions of each specific forum. Obviously, you want to make sure you're not doing too much self-promotion. Guest blogging is what they say is another a flawed strategy. I think the only reason they're saying this is because tons of crappy guest posts have been written all over the web, and you don't want to become part of that. But this is a great way, guest blogging, to get your content into another website, or offer content from your website on someone else's website, or just rewrite content from your website to put it on another blogger's website. Bloggers are always looking for more content because they can only write what they know of. Other types of syndication, widgets, infographics, tables of data are great ways to build link strategies and visibility. I'm not particularly a fan of this. I think this is more of, you know, I think it's a great way to build links, but the problem is you need to unfortunately have some extra tools. So I think this is more of an advanced technique. Sometimes you have to submit your RSS feeds. If you have WordPress blogs, you have to submit your RSS feeds to various places, which require tools. And again, it's another process you have to put into your process. Now, social news sites, Dig and Reddit. By the way, as an update, Dig, unfortunately, is going to be closed down. It's a Yahoo property. So I have already gone ahead and transferred all of my social bookmarks and imported them into a brand new place called Diigo, and that's D-I-I-G-O. So if you have a Dig account, now what social news sites have to do with is you're trying to get attention to your articles by submitting a bookmark to your article, or doing online bookmarking and submitting your article to these social news sites like Dig, Reddit. There's a bunch of other sites out there that you can bookmark your own content, but the problem is you want to make sure you're bookmarking your own content, but also bookmarking other people's content, because you don't want to look like you're just doing your own, because you can easily get yourself banned from one of these. This is now, if you set up the processes, this could be a one-click type of thing where you can bookmark to these sites, but again, you're not going to get any sort of link juice from these because they have no follow links pointing outward. Now, there's a lot of talk around that no follow links, like I was showing you up at the top. I have that Firefox extension plugin down here, Quirk search status, that shows me where all of the no follow tags are, so I know what kind of a page I'm on. And so anyways, doing social news site stuff is fine, but I don't think it's a valid, real heavy valid way of doing link building. Social media sites, I think this is, I don't think this is a flawed, I don't think this is at all a flawed way of doing link building, because if you've been following the recent updates with Google, you'll see that Google is now starting to consider all of the sites out there like Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and other social media sites in their ranking formula, and you could get ranked. Now, there's also, if you pay attention to the to Jerry West over at SEO Revolution and his blog, he had a recently interesting article. Let's see here. Adding your tweets to Google Real Time. And yeah, you'll want to read this article to see how you can actually do that. And it does involve Twitter and Dig. But as you can see, Google now has a real-time search results, which includes Twitter stuff in there. And like what I just did at ping.fm, if I wanted to include, you know, something under the keyword research or something like that, people would be able to see my tweets and possibly visit my site and become a fan, what have you, or start following me. And that's what that's all about, is starting to build an audience, because these links that are then put, these whatever updates you put into your social websites, your social media accounts, I should say, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever you use out there. When you put those links in there, and if you have any ensuing discussion between other people, you want to obviously make your stuff somewhat provocative and get people to respond. But when you have, when you do this, and the more authority or juice you have, those links actually pointing outward, even if they're redirects, are going to count. So I think it's really important that you consider doing social media. The quickest, easiest way to start building a base is, of course, starting to make friends and finding those people on Facebook, as well as using ping.fm to update all of your social media sites rather than just one. You want to build out on all different platforms. But that is, of course, a definite, that is definitely a what I believe is an advanced technique. If you're just starting out, you just want to start out slow. Okay, so here's some link building strategies for 2011 that these are definitely still effective, and of course they're part of the flawed techniques, because as you'll see, the first one is forum posts. Great way to build traffic. Not only is it a great way to build backlinks to your sites, and you can actually even hire and outsource people to do this for you if you do have a way of affording outsourced people. They're very cheap. You can get them for $2, $3 an hour, especially out in the Philippines. But forum posts, very simple. You can follow forums and make your posts in many different forums, and you will get credit for the backlink. Plus, you'll also get indirect traffic from your posts. Of course, they've got to be quality posts. Social media and social bookmarking. We covered that. I think it's fine. I think social bookmarking necessarily is not that great. Social media, I think, is becoming more important as Google is starting to use that in their algorithm. Guest posts and interviews. Remember, we talked about guest posts. I think interviews are great, especially if you could get them onto iTunes. All you need is a podcast host to do that. Link bait and linking out. Link bait is doing content that actually gets circulated, that people want to link to out there. Obviously, you can do that through doing social bookmarking and getting those out. If you feel you've got a quality article, you can submit that to Dig, Delicious, Reddit, and there's a bunch of other different. It depends on what your article is about as to where you want to submit it. When you get that out there, if it catches on fire and you've got a great article, linkbait will get people linking to your site if you've got something on an interesting topic in your particular niche. Link exchange and directory submission, we covered that. Link exchange, I believe, is not as effective. Directory submission, I think, is definitely worth doing. But doing it the right way. And if we want to, let's go ahead and I'll show you the tool that I use. It's called Fast Directory Submitter. This allows you to rotate your keywords that you submit to many directories for the same site, and you definitely want to do that. It's like anything, you want to vary the keywords that you use whenever you've got something pointing to the same page and being submitted to multiple places. Links from articles, this is very important. Blogs, press releases, these are also very effective. Press releases are you get them posted to very, very top high-ranking sites with a lot of page rank, and those stick around for a long time. Those are one-way backlinks. Besides potentially even getting contacted by the press. Now the thing is press releases, this is going to be more of an advanced technique. Links from blogs, blog commenting, that's, I would say, a beginner type technique, because you can do that. Anyone can pretty much do that. And links from articles, I would say, is an intermediate technique. You've got to write some good content. Submitting it, again, when you get backlinks by using your keywords in your bio box of an article. And if you're not familiar with what a bio box in your article is, just go over to ezinearticles.com and you'll see, I'll show you a real quick example of that. ezinearticles.com, and we'll go to a particular article. We'll go to one here. I can't necessarily say that it's going to be a good one, but as you can see, this is a bio box down here at the bottom, and you see there's a picture of the author. And here they are using treat PCOS as the keyword and then also doing a link to their site with their URL. This would be using the anchor text. Now, if you submit this article, the same article, to multiple directories, I would definitely rewrite the content here and use different keywords or different forms of this keyword treat PCOS with maybe, I would use 2 to 3 more keywords in this article because you get to rank for a number of combination of keywords when you have a longer keyword phrase. So if you have 5 words, you can get more combinations of keywords. So that's what the author box is, and you want to definitely rotate the types of keywords you're using. Free templates or themes, this is more of an advanced technique using creation of WordPress themes that give you backlinks to your sites, WordPress plugin creation that gives you also backlinks to your site if you use it. This is more of an advanced technique because you need to hire a programmer. Blog creation to link to your website. There are certain sites that actually have blog farms, which, by the way, Google is looking for, and they're looking to eliminate any backlinks that would count to your site. So what this also means is you can create multiple blogs on like Squidoo, WordPress.com, that sort of thing, creating informational type blogs that give you backlinks to your own site that give you some extra juice. There's a number of different, there's like livejournal.com, where you can create your own blogs, or you can create and host blogs on another host that allows you to link to your site. So you actually control those blogs and whatever you put on them. Buying links and paid reviews. I think we covered buying links. Not particularly a great idea. You can lose your money. But like I say, you can also get some very high paid ranked sites. If you lose the link, you lose the link on a paid link. Paid reviews, those definitely can work, where you pay someone to do a review, put it on your site. You can actually create the review for them, and you get backlinks from that site for that. We're going to talk about, let's see here, what they're talking about here is search marketers target SEO via social media. We've already talked about that, doing submitting to all those sites and having backlinks to your own sites, which is very important. And then taking advantage of viral link building here, which is basically kind of doing link bait, using really good, compelling articles, content that's very useful in your particular niche, and sharing it on social bookmarking services like Dig, Delicious, Reddit, and a number of others. A number of other types of services. That takes care of that. Let's see, there's 5 link building predictions that we're going to review here for 2011. A lot of this says less use of keyword-based anchor text, more use of brand names. I believe that is true, but I still don't think, I think it's important to note here that you don't want to necessarily always use anchor text. You want to use definitely like even your own site name. But it's important to mix things up, to constantly keep Google looking at the fact that you're not just doing the same thing over and over and over and keep attacking the same keyword, using the same anchor text. And the anchor text, as you know, is a hyperlink going from one page to the next, and backlinks are usually a hyperlink that is on another site pointing in towards one page on your site. So I think this is something a lot of people are doing, but I still think you want to continue using keyword-based, keyword-rich anchor text. Less focus on quantity, more focus on quality. I think that's absolutely true. I think that goes without saying. I think the more quality content, as Google continues to evolve in their algorithm, they're going to obviously very much be focusing on finding quality content, how many people are linking to it from Twitter, mentioning it. All that is going to be very essential and counting this year in 2011. So less emphasis on PageRank. I think this goes without saying. You want to definitely build authority on your website, but the most important thing is focusing on PageRank is a very, very bad strategy, or even a bad habit to do. Google even said itself in a recent article for webmasters to not worry about, because what happened was in Google Webmaster Tools they took out the ability to look at PageRank, and Google itself said you shouldn't worry or consume yourself with PageRank. I don't know why they don't get rid of it altogether, but that's their own stick. Anyways, less links to the homepage, more links to the content. I think this is absolutely essential. A lot of people continually want to build links to their homepage. I don't know why you do, because that's really the entry point to where the good content is, which is on the interior pages. The interior pages is where the content, the keyword-rich titles are. You can only rank for 100 keywords on your homepage, but is that really going to be relevant to those keywords that you're trying to rank for? I don't think so. You want to have more links to the internal content of your site, and that's really something I believe Google pays a lot of attention to. And it's as far as I'm concerned, it's a red smoke signal. When they see a bunch of links pointing to your homepage. It just looks like you're a link builder, and the whole point of building links is you want to always appear as natural as possible. Less concern about rankings, more concern about conversions. Now, this is a very true statement. I think it's necessary to have a balance between the two. I think you have to be concerned about your rankings, because when you're doing link building, I think that's very important. But more so, I think a lot of people don't necessarily focus as much on their conversion. You know, how many visitors am I converting out of every 100 visitors to a sale? If you're not converting 1 or 2, you may need to think about how you can improve your sales process, or getting people on your list and gaining their trust first. So that's a review of that, and let's review some more link building strategies I've found on the first page. Here we've got Squidoo lenses. Squidoo lenses are easy to use. Definitely, it can be done by a beginner. You could do Hub Pages also has some. We didn't look at the first one here. Let's see. Register in blog web directories. This process induces monotony and can bring hundreds of links. So I personally use WordPress on every one of my sites, pretty much, unless like the front page of nichebot is an HTML page, but we use WordPress on the blog, and I use it on any other content platform that I am erecting, and most of all the sites I use have WordPress on them, and it is a bit of a process to keep those updated and constantly be in the know about them, but I think it's absolutely the best and wisest choice to learn that particular platform, WordPress, which is very well used in the internet marketing community. And now registering the blog and web directories I think is important. It does bring hundreds of links. We've already talked about directories and fast articles, fast directory submitter, and how that works. And if you do it right, you can definitely get some good inbound links. Like I say, you're not necessarily it gets the process started. And the more inbound links you have, the more authority you're going to gain in the future. We talked about press releases. This is more of an advanced strategy. I've used PR Web to put press releases in, and I've seen the links still up 4 or 5 years later. Interchange links with similar sites. This is reciprocal linking. We talked about that. It's not necessarily as effective today, but it still is used. I mean, some people still swear by it. And you can't listen to everything everybody says, even SEO experts, okay? You got to always question how big is their sample size of what they're using. Anyways, so Squidoo lenses, we talked about that. It's a great way to build extra content. We talked about Squidoo lenses, WordPress.com. We've talked about hub pages. These are additional places you can build content outside that are free. Of course, you don't control this, these blog/content properties, so you could get them banned, and you'll lose those inbound links. But for the most part, if you go by the guidelines, you'll be able to have this content here up for a long time, and that's a beginner technique. Submitting articles, more. This is definitely, we covered this. This is more of an intermediate type thing to get into. It can be over-encompassing, creating content and submitting and using some sort of a software tool like Unique Article Wizard or Magic Submitter, what have you. Social networking, we talked about that. It's important to create a presence or get people, like-minded people connected with you so that you can tell them what's going on with you and what you're doing. Comments on other blogs, we said that's absolutely important, giving reviews. And now this isn't paid reviews. This offers doing a review of somebody else's product. Obviously, you have to have something in common with that particular person when you want to give a review of this is a great way to exchange content. We talked about paid reviews, which is paying someone else to do a review of your product and they put it on your site. People are willing to accept cash for that, and that will give you some backlinks from their site. We already covered creating tools, templates, widgets, what have you, that go on people's sites, on WordPress sites. This is definitely advanced because it does require a programmer to hire. Off-the-net ideas, let's see, put your URL on your stationery, blah, blah, blah. This is not a link building technique, but is a way to drive traffic. So that pretty much covers all the different manners of link building, review, and if you do have any questions, please go ahead and post them. Otherwise, we're going to close out the session. It does not look like we have any questions submitted at this time, so go ahead and submit any questions that you had based on our review, but you can, of course, always go and type in Link Building Strategies 2011 to review what some of the latest link building strategies are. As you can see, here's another social bookmarking site called Sven, which is run by Search Engine Land, which is Danny Sullivan's site. Here you can see an article that's ranking for this particular keyword on eZine articles, which we already saw is a great way to get your keyword ranked, because you're using the power and ranking power of an actual site called eZine Articles, and I think they have like a PR8. So they're a definite, hugely authority site, and so you can check this out to look at any other articles that we may not have covered here. I'm going to do one more quick check to see if we have any questions, and we do not, so we are going to go ahead and close out the show for today, and make sure to tune back in next week as we cover another particular technique. We'll review one technique, do something, go through a how-to right here live on the screen, And you definitely want to tune in here every week, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Get your nichebot questions answered and any questions that you may have about any sort of technique, promotion, content creation, what have you. Tune in, obviously, to overcome your obstacles and start having more and more breakthroughs. I mean, you deserve it. Nowadays, it can cost you a couple thousand to get a really good course. It could cost you hundreds for coaching. Of course, review the Quick Start Guide for your proper foundation. Incorporate one way of backlinks to your site, as we covered here. And jot down your questions as you're going through things and save them for the show next week. You know, obviously, if you want to share and have me review one of your sites, you can go ahead and do that on the next show. Just decide whether you wish to share the URL with the group, because this is a public show. And, of course, explain your situation in detail with specifics so I can truly envision the problem. Because the more information you give me in return, the more clarity and direction I can give you back in return. And, of course, I'm here to help you move forward. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in to today's nichebot live coaching show. And we'll make sure to see you on the next show. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.